Once again, people, we are back up in this thing. It's me and Jen for another review of my man, my homie, you know what I'm saying, from the galaxy. This is
Boy.
Maul, the Shadow Lord. And if you can see, I'm draped in the finest, what we was wearing in Coruscant the last time I was there. You feel me? So how you like my big Jen, you know what I'm saying? But look, we are here for this review. Maul Shadow Lord playing on Disney Plus right now. We got 6 episodes.
Yes.
We are about to go over episodes 5 and episode 6, which were phenomenal episodes. And I'm not gonna go too long. I'm gonna let Jen dive into episode 5, and we're gonna discuss it. So, hey, welcome to another review, All-Star Fandom Show.
Oh my goodness, where do we start? First of all,
it was a lot. It was a lot in both of these.
Right out the gate, I mean, we know the Empire is here. The Empire has arrived, and we have Lieutenant Blake that is on the scene at the police station that we will call it on Janix. And right out the gate, there was some things that I was surprised about immediately. One of them being Merrick. And if you don't know who Merrick is, he is the first brother of the Inquisitors of the Inquisitory. We see him briefly in Tales of the Empire during that storyline at the Inquisitory, where basically it's where Darth Vader takes all of these Jedis and converts them to not quite Sith, but then they're not Jedi anymore, to hunt down other Jedi, sometimes to take them out, and other times to indoctrinate them as Inquisitors. So the fact that we got him and he's already about doing his thing is a big, huge thing in the show. And we're just going to break it down going episode by episode here. I mean, Doc, what did you think of 5?
The introduction of the Inquisitor was, if I was Captain Lawson, I'd have been terrified. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Captain Lawson held his own though. So episode 5 of Maul Shadow Lord, we start with the Empire is here now, and they are about to start their inquiry, okay, about where is Maul, why is he here, what is he here for, and why haven't y'all apprehended him? And why did y'all call us immediately when he arrived and y'all knew he was here? Because y'all know, everybody in the galaxy know we looking for Maul, right?
Yep.
So Inquisitors come, your boy Captain Lawson get told, hey, don't go nowhere because we might need to holler at you in a little bit. They take his captain, she's the chief, right? They take his chief, they go and they question her. And when he goes in to be questioned, he noticed like scratch marks in the table and stuff. Like it looked really bad. It looked like a horror scene. Then go ahead, Jen.
I just want to add, and the fact that as he is going into the interrogation room before that, when you see Captain Blake on his data pad looking at her file, actually turning it off, that symbolized she is done.
Oh yeah, she ain't make it.
Well, we don't know if she's dead. Like, she probably ends up in one of those prisons like we see in Andor, and that's where she sends.
Yeah.
So she might not necessarily be dead, since we didn't see that. But that is also a possibility where she kind of gets sent off. But yeah, that was also signifying she's done. She ain't coming back, at least in this scenario.
Not in this series. Yeah. Not here. You know what I'm saying?
She gone.
Yeah, she out of there. But the terrifying realization of, oh, this is happening now. The Empire is actually here. And everything I can only imagine Jen was going through his head. God dog it, 2 boots. Why? Why did you call him? We was handling this.
You know what? I will keep saying this with everything we review here on our channel. I really love great story writing. Basically, one of the pinpoints of this episode was to show that Lawson was right. When the Empire comes, it messes everything up from what he sees. And now we're seeing it, because the other thing that surprised me too was that, especially with Lieutenant Blake, which is surprising, not surprising because of the theme of the Empire, but how hardcore they're being already. They weren't as friendly as I thought they were going to be, because now Janix has no resources for them to use. All they know is Maul is here. And But now with everything from basically picking up from with the chief and now this, it's like, oh yeah, they're not going anywhere. they,
And not only
they
is
here.
Maul here, and if Maul is here because he's supposed to be dead, there must be something of value here. You know what I'm saying? So he's thinking about all of this. On top of that, he got his wife in the back of his head, who also works for the Empire. Guys, I'm talking about Captain Lawson. He just went into be inquisited by the Inquisitor.
They keep whenever they show his desk, they always make sure to show the audience that family picture in the foreground. They're making sure that we see it.
Right. So in there, then the Inquisitor, what is his name? Jen comes in and puts his Merrick comes in and puts his hands on Captain Lawson's shoulder and says, "Tell me everything," which Captain Lawson, to my surprise, did not. He held back some things. He withheld some very important information,
but
which is, go ahead, Jen.
But here's the thing. I found that whole exchange interesting because Lawson is giving some details, and because because this is not the first time around the block for him. He's telling necessary information, but this also shows that the Empire doesn't quite know everything either about Maul and the workings of everything, and they don't have the full scope of what has been happening since we started this series.
Like I said before, this man is playing a masterful game of chess, and don't nobody know what's going on his board. Nope. So Lawson tells him certain things like where we saw Maul, where we engaged with Maul, and we lost some men, but he did not tell Merrick that there were Jedi.
Nope.
So then we go from there to Devin and her master. They're trying to find safe haven, and lo and behold, guess where they went? Y'all let me know. Guess where y'all think they went? They went straight to Lawson's house. I don't know what made them do this, but they went straight to Lawson's house, and his son, being the upstanding young man that Lawson is raising, let them in because he didn't want them out in the cold. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Although his son is still naive in thinking that the Empire is here for their safety. Right.
Well, remember,
of course. Oh, okay. Go ahead, Jen.
Well, remember, Lawson's son, before all this bit goes down, after the Empire comes at the beginning, he calls his mom at work going,
he calls his mom. Yep.
The Empire is here. I don't know what's going on. And she's basically encouraging him to keep a level head and say, remember, the Empire's the good guys. They're here to help. They're here to do this and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Just make sure you just do what they say and you'll be fine.
Yes, his mom encourages him to be obedient to the Empire because he believes in the whole indoctrination of it. She obviously works for them, right? So they end up
she's in Coruscant. She mentioned she's in Coruscant.
Hey, I got the digs. I told y'all, you know what I'm saying? She is in Coruscant. Like I said, this is what I got the last time I was there. I look fresh. But yeah, so she's working, right? She's doing her thing. She was like, baby, we'll talk later. She goes about her business. Knock, knock, knock. Who is it? Master Edu. Am I saying his name right? Edu.
Daki.
Daki. What's his first name?
He has a long name.
Something Daki, right?
Yeah, no, his first name is Edu, but it's short. It's Master Daki.
So Daki, okay, Master Daki knocking on the door. He lets them in, right? Now, people, as you may or may not know, the Inquisitors, they have the Force within them, so they can sense when things are off. They can sense when things don't seem quite right, and he did not quite believe Lawson because he knew Lawson was holding back some truth.
Well,
so he followed him.
Well, not only that, he didn't just follow him. Like, Merrick is the first brother. And it's like I've been saying with Maul, all the people that the Empire has single-handedly chosen to be a part of his team, if you will, they're not stupid. They're not dumb
No,
clucks. These are
no.
very intelligent people. And Palpatine is very calculating in who he chooses to
Yeah.
serve him, and along with their connection to the Force, even though he does, train his apprentices to grow within the darkness, he's also
Mm-hmm.
very calculating in who he picks and how he can sense how strong the Force is with each individual, which is why immediately when Anakin is like 7 or 8, he hones on him right away, going, "Oh, why,
Mm-hmm.
hi. We
Mm-hmm.
look forward to seeing your career with great interest," whatever that line is. It's just like, oh, dang, he sets his sight on him. So, yeah, so Merrick he's listening, he's taking in the intel, but he's also using the dark side to feel what is not being conveyed and what is being conveyed. So, and then the information that he's given, because we don't know what I'm assuming that he has seen everything. So he's also using the dark side of the Force to guide him, to lead him to find Maul, but then also discovers there's two Jedi here at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yeah.
So
And so that's the part where, like I said, he had him followed, goes to his house, and that's where he discovers two Jedi are here on Janet. So we're not just looking for Maul. Now we got two Jedi here. So now we gotta fight all three of them. You know what I'm saying?
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Merrick and these two Jedi. Because right now he's completely on attack mode. He's
Mm-hmm.
attacking them, and it seems like he's going to basically just take them out. But then I wonder if there might be a moment where Merrick might take them back to Palpatine and persuade them, but I think it's too soon to say. Uh,
Yeah.
but but then like with what we're seeing with Merrick going after them and the Empire going after them, it's making more of a case for Maul.
Look, this whole thing started because he was betrayed by somebody. He did not say who that somebody was. He just said, I am going to get all of my betrayers and kill them. That's what Maul said. Those are his words, not mine. Okay. So, whomever he's looking for, and how do we know this wasn't part of his plan to draw them in? Although he didn't want them to come this quickly, that could have been part of his plan to draw them in so he could take out one of the people that betrayed him.
I don't think so. I would disagree on that because Maul is trying to be calculating like Palpatine. And Maul, in my mind, has a little bit of a delusion of grandeur, thinking he can really get to Palpatine now. Because basically what we're seeing, like how he's using deeper parts of the planet with abandoned areas of a planet. Palpatine does that. This is all from what he learned from Palpatine. He's basically taking a blueprint and implementing it.
Mm-hmm.
So and again, Maul is another example of this is the Titanic. We know where this is going. It's going to sink. We're working up to Rebels, where he is going to get offed by Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so and then there's stuff that's happening with Maul too, because Maul later down the line, because remember in Rebels where we discover him, he was abandoned on this planet by his followers. He basically starts going mental at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So his right now he's still in a stable place to a degree, but we're going to start soon seeing him unravel mentally. And then the other question is this young Padawan, if Devin does go with him, is she the Padawan that betrays him and abandons him on that planet in Rebels?
Well, I was about to ask you a question about that. He's never had a Padawan, like in all your readings and stuff. He's never trained anyone, right?
From what I recall up until this show, no.
Mm-hmm. So this will be his first one if she does choose to go with him and be trained by him, because she did ask to clean up episode 5. It ends with that scene where the Inquisitor comes and finds them. Well, no. Where he's scratching at the door with his lightsaber. That's where the next episode opens. But go back to my question. So this would be his first Padawan if she chooses to go with him, which in turn would be who you just said betrayed him, one of the betrayers. But this is a betrayal of another kind. What we're doing here, so I don't think that's her, huh? which would mean she doesn't go with him.
Well, it's a hypothesis because we have to see what happens in the rest of the show, because I'm pulling from information that we do know with the stories we do know, because like I said, this is the Titanic. We know how it's going to end, but then there are clear milestones of Maul that we know both in storybook and in lore of
Mhm.
where he gets abandoned by his followers because he does go mental. And then he's on this planet for I forget how many years before we find him again in Rebels with Ezra and all of them. And then he starts tempting Ezra to become his new apprentice and come to the dark side.
What actually makes him go mental?
Uh oh, this is where I wish Lauren were here. Be like, Lauren, take it away. So I think it's over time where the constant betrayals, and then, when he starts getting into more of the dark force, the dark side of the force, and using the holocron of the dark side, it does mess with your mind. And then with other events that happen along the way, I don't want to give too much away because I also want to see how this show is going to implement the things that we know are going to come for
Mhm.
people who are not familiar. I want to be a little careful there.
Mhm.
But it's a plethora of things where he just starts losing, common sense. We'll put it that way.
Wow. So with all of that was a mouthful. With all of that being said,
Because this is
how,
becoming an obsession for him to get
yeah.
Palpatine.
Well, but here's my thing. You just said a whole lot right then. But my question is, why do people keep betraying him? Has he done something to them to make them treat him this way?
Ooh, great question. So, in some situations, the fall of Mandalore and all of that had a part of it, because he also was the responsible one for bringing all these gangs together and coming together. So, the first thing where people thought he was dead for a while because of what happens in the movie, but then he gets the black saber. Oh my gosh, there's so much lore here. How do I explain this?
Mm,
Um, and with some of these things, it's just a matter of when he goes too far of his overall goal and it's not serving the
the
clans
empire
anymore.
anymore.
Well, not the empire, like the
His
pikes,
clique,
the Crimson
the
Dawn.
gangs.
Yeah, the
Right.
gangs, You also have to
But I
get
think, but this betrayer, I didn't mean to cut you off, but this betrayer that this particular film or this particular show is someone way above the gangs that he's after.
he looks at them as all of them betrayed him.
Okay.
He looks at them that all of them have a responsibility for betraying him and not helping him or doing for him what they were supposed to do.
Right. Okay. Okay. So it just seems like his whole life has been nothing but betrayal from the moment he was like, they killed my mom, they killed my brothers, they killed my entire family.
True.
So first betrayal, and I can only assume that it was the Empire that killed his family, but somehow he went to the dark side. You got to help me figure that one out, right? So then he get with the gangs or whatever and do his thing, bring them together like the Crips and the Bloods, and then yet and still someone betrays him again. Now this is all before he goes crazy, Jen. So I'm like, if he's doing positive for the Empire or positive for the dark side or positive for the dark forces or whatever, why do people keep betraying this man? So I kind of understand where he's coming from when he like, man, forget all this nonsense. I'm finna do my own empire type thing.
Well, you hit the nail right on the head right there. You have to remember his main priority right now is to get back at the Emperor, which is why he does, because the betrayal he feels from Palpatine and the way after the Battle of Duel of the Fates and how Qui-Gon halved him. And that Palpatine never went to find him. He just went on without him and does nothing for him, which that's part of Palpatine's MO. When he's done with you, he's done with you. So this is all geared toward that. So everything that's happened before this, like within the Clone Wars, now after the Clone Wars, it's all because he's trying to build up a mass power to go and take out Palpatine, but it's never going to happen just because of who Palpatine is and how he puppets everyone.
I just think it's an interesting story, and to agree with your point earlier, I love storytelling and the writing, story writing in general,
Mm-hmm.
and the way they're setting this up. Because I'm not into all the lore of Star Wars. I love Star Wars, but I'm not into it like Jen. I haven't read the books. I have not watched the Clone Wars. It's a lot. I try to tell you people, it's a lot to take in, but
It's worth
this
it if you
this
get more
particular story,
clarity.
huh?
It's
This
worth it if you get more clarity.
Yeah, well, this particular story here, and I might have to go back and watch them, but this it's a lot. It's a lot, Jen. I don't know. I'm kind of be like Dion on this one. I don't know if I can watch all of it. But this particular story here is interesting to me because moving on to episode 6 of Maul Shadow Lord, now playing on Disney Plus on Monday evenings.
Yeah.
If you notice how this particular guy treats Two Boots, and he treats him as a nothing. He treats him as a robot. He treats him as a droid. He has no feeling or no compassion to him. And the thing is, if people are paying attention, you can see Two Boots internally starts to feel some type of way of being treated like that. I don't think people are paying that much close attention to this part of the story. This is why I like the little nuances of storytelling.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What is his name?
Lieutenant Blake.
Lieutenant Blake. Yes, Lieutenant Blake. And so I was already upset with Lieutenant Blake when
the way he walked in, I was like, I already know how this is gonna
go. Or even when Lawson's son came to see him, and he was like, "What is Abe doing in here? And he's not supposed to be in here. Do you not know protocol? Get him out of here." And I was like, "Okay, you've been a little bit over the top right now, my guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, bring it down a notch." So and Two Boots, I don't know nothing about his programming or whatever, but he doesn't seem to be programmed that way, that straight and narrow. You know what I'm saying? It looked like he got a little bit of leeway. He can choose whether to be more human, I guess, or more robotic.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. Two Boots is now seeing what Lawson was talking about.
Yes.
Because of the programming Two Boots has, because it's also like the clones, to make the point of the clones. Mm-hmm. The clones basically had free will to a point.
Mm-hmm.
To a point, they were following orders. They were bred and raised and trained to be soldiers, so that's what they were doing. They had no problem taking orders to a point. But then when it was time for Order 66, they had that chip in there that was hardwired into them that is hard to override unless they had such a strong will, or if the chip was taken out. Because it's a little bit different with Two Boots because he's full droid. Mm-hmm. He's not a clone. But yeah, you're starting, because you see how that part of his programming, that is really strong in Two Boots. Like, well, no, like, this is what we're supposed to do. These are the orders we're supposed to follow. We have to do this because the Empire this, the Empire that, they're going to help us. This is out of our control. That's hardcore programming. But then now Two Boots is seeing what Lawson was saying. And he's noting everything, and how even the way he's treated, from where with the chief and Lawson and everyone else, no one cared that he wore Two Boots. He's still doing his job. That's also how he was identified, because he wears Two Boots. He's Two Boots. So, and now that the Empire's here, and the Empire is all about order, and you have to remember, the Empire does not like droids at all. Which is why they get rid of the clones, because these troopers that are in the show are not clones. These are regular human beings. I forget what.
They're not all human though, Jen. Don't just put them in that category, please.
Well, no, I'm just saying they're not clones. They're just regular human beings.
They're regular beings. Let me go say that.
Yeah, and these are TK troopers. Within this timeline, they're TK troopers. So yeah, you're seeing that hardcore programming that, he did the thing. He's still saying the things that the programming that is within him, but then the way he's being treated, seeing how the Empire is all of a sudden changing everything. As Lawson has said, the chief is gone. And then Lawson's getting interrogated, and all of a sudden now he's a wanted man, and his picture is all over the city where he necessarily did nothing wrong except holding back. There are 2 Jedi on this planet.
But Jen, I'm gonna tell you where it really clicked for my boy Two Boots.
Where it clicked?
When Lieutenant Blake looked down at his feet and said, "Droid, those are the wrong boots."
Yep.
That's when it clicked in his mind. Oh, maybe they don't treat people right either. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
maybe something might be up with this guy or with the Empire. Maybe this protocol needs to be a little worked out. You know what I'm saying?
There's more vendetta with the Empire against droids and alien beings that are not humans.
That's what I'm saying. And so when that clicks for Two Boots, we don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in the future episodes. But continuing, Merrick is out to get these 2 here. Well, these 4. He's out trying to get them, right? My boy Master is back there fighting Merrick. Devin is trying to procure transportation. I steal a helicopter, not a helicopter, but a flying machine.
Transport.
So she's out trying to get transport with the boy. The boy asking all type of dumb questions, talking about why you shooting at the Empire, talking about what's going on. I'm thinking to myself, hey man, shut up. Either you gonna fight or just shut up. You see they shooting at us. What do you want me to do? Just stand here and not shoot back? Like, anyway, we dealing with that. They steal the ship. She do some fancy maneuver. She's flying. She do the thing. And they thought they got away. Lo and behold, boom, 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 get shot down. And then my man come in. I don't know if you have any of these pictures of any of these scenes, Jen.
They were hard to grab.
Do you have the picture where before they started to fight to get on the train?
The only one I have
is this. Well, that I can work with this. So tell you about the bravery of this young Padawan here. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. I see somebody walking towards me with the full on, you know what I'm saying, night gear on, with the whole helmet joint, with the red lightsaber. I don't think I'm gonna stand there and try to take on this fight. Not just yet. I'm like, my training ain't that strong yet, right? So I'm gonna run because we
don't know how trained Devin is. I mean, the fact that they still have their lightsabers, they probably have been training secretly on and off when no one is around. And the fact that one, she can hold her own against Maul, who's worse than the Inquisitors, in my opinion, and then actually holding her ground against the First Brother, she's pretty adept.
And so this dude comes out of nowhere, right? Because he's tracking her more than he's tracking Lawson and the other 2. Now, I guess because he sensed the Force.
His focus is on Maul, but then when he discovers the 2 Jedi, now he has 2 objectives. He has to take them all out. So by going after them, my assumption is he knew Maul would probably come out, which is exactly what happened. Maul came out to stand with Devin, because there's a really cool. Oh, I love the fight choreography in the show.
I thought you had a picture or the part of that. When I remember what I referred to.
I try to find something from that. Like they're getting good.
Remember when I referenced Maul style last?
Oh review? Yeah.
I said it's like he's doing ballet, and I don't know if anybody caught that or were paying attention to his practice style. It's this same style. It's like he's dancing when he has his lightsaber. You know what I'm saying? It's like he hears the music and he knows every note. You know, the way he twirls it, the way he twists it, the way he catches. And then when he does this right here, and then the second blade comes out, that's the coolest to me, Jan.
I really loved how Merrick was like, I got 2 blades, and Maul's like, I'm the OG. I was like, yes.
But it was kind of cool though. How Merrick was like, because I guarantee you, Maul did not know he had 2 blades until he hit that button and that blade started coming towards his face.
I'm sure Merrick knew that he had 2 blades, but he was basically trying to. What?
I don't think Maul knew. I'm saying when he.
Oh, you said Maul. I thought I heard you say Merrick. I'm sorry. No, I don't think he expected him to have two blades, and because these are the first lightsabers to ever spin.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact
That
that they're
was
also spinning,
so cool.
Maul has never seen that. Oh yeah, no, like even though yes, I know in the real scientific world it doesn't make sense, but for fantasy it is awesome.
Hey, in the real scientific
It's
world, for what 40 or
awesome.
50 years, lightsabers didn't exist until like last year. Till I saw this dude actually make one. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
no, I saw
saying?
a dude really make a lightsaber. Oh my gosh, it's
Yeah.
real now.
So I'm like, so
It's
they
real.
didn't exist. This is all imaginary. But we're getting off
I really
topic.
want to start training so I can get one day or make
I
one of
want one
my
too.
own.
Yeah,
Um,
I got to get one. But back to Maul Shadow Lord. So Devin is in this position here. Fight.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, your man asked the question, where is Maul? One of the coolest reveals in the episode is when my man is standing up on all the boxes, like, I'm right here.
Oh my gosh. Yes. And he just comes down and then that whole thing happens. Oh, it's so good. It is
Yeah.
so good. Yeah, just these two episodes, like as the way these episodes are building is so dope. The pacing is really good. They're lightly giving us more action bit by bit where it's necessary and it's not overdone. So it's really great. And I think the other thing that I'm finding interesting is that I think Dave Filoni is trying to do a storyline that George Lucas wanted to do years ago.
Really.
George, yeah, it's just I have to get more info on it, but it seems like they're trying. Dave Filoni's trying to do a story that George wanted to do years ago within the sequels, or leading up to the sequels that he always wanted to do. And because with the purchase from Disney, that got shelved. But now that Dave is at the helm of Lucasfilms, it seems like we're going to probably get a little bit more narrative that George had originally planned, which if that is true, if we keep going in that trajectory from what I'm seeing, this is going to be some of the best Star Wars we've seen in a long time with what's being set
Hey,
up.
I'm looking forward to everything you just said. I mean, because you know how we love Star Wars, but we hadn't, like I said, we hadn't dived into it like you have. And like I said, I'm gonna have to go and start watching the Clone Wars. But I absolutely love Star Wars. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So to get, like you said, George Lucas's actual view in any of these films, like you said, like he really wanted it, I think it's gonna be amazing. I look forward to that.
That
Um,
that or just like other stories he never got the opportunity to tell, especially with the purchase that Disney did of Lucasfilms from him.
mhm.
So
Okay.
so I'm just Dave, I hope the rumors are true, my friend. I hope the rumors are true. I am ready. I am here for it. I know a lot of us fans really want to see it. But yeah, so a lot of interesting things that we've gotten in these two episodes that I found interesting. We have the first brother, Merrick, which means he is the first Inquisitor. So my questions are, okay, if he's already about doing Inquisitor stuff, at least within the cinematic universe of the timeline, what does this mean for the Inquisitory? Because technically right now, Vader is being Vader. He's still figuring out his suit and everything, and the Inquisitory is not supposed to happen for a couple years.
Mhm.
But then we do know that there were agents that were like the Inquisitors going about doing Palpatine's business, but they were under a different name. So the fact that we're like, we already got the Inquisitors, like the fact that the episode was called Inquisition, I
Yeah.
found very fascinating. It's like, wait, we're getting this already?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and to go back to something you said, I found that moment interesting where he went to Devon, and the fact that he didn't take her out and his question was, "Where's Maul?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I I found that very interesting. I'm like, "Wait. Okay, you're going to use her for information and you might probably want to indoctrinate her into the Inquisitory while finding Maul at the same time. That's a possibility. But I found that so interesting in that interaction instead of him just going for it.
Do you think he sensed that he knew where Maul was? Because
I
she does know where he is. She know where his hideout is.
So it's one of two things. From the because we don't know all of the information that he was given when the Empire arrived, because he came with the Empire, he came with Lieutenant Blake, which means Palpatine sent him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm assuming that he knows a lot already, but is still trying to put some pieces together, or he senses in the dark side of the force that she does have a connection to Maul because they have met and she was with him for a while. So,
Mm-hmm.
and he's still trying to put the pieces together because this scene right here, this scene,
Mm-hmm.
when I saw this, I'm like, wait, is
Now,
he? Is
who
he?
you think he talking to?
Ah,
So I got two guesses, and I'm
tell me,
thinking, I'm
tell,
thinking,
tell,
I'm
tell me,
thinking
tell me who
Palpatine.
you
I'm
think.
thinking Palpatine would be too early to bring him in right now. So I'm
Mm,
thinking is Lord Vader.
what? It's one of those two.
That's what I'm thinking is Lord Vader.
My first thought went actually to Palpatine, but then if we got Vader, it wouldn't be surprising. But my thought is leaning more toward Palpatine on
You
this one.
think?
Yeah,
Okay.
because
I'm
you
look. I like I said, I'm not the expert. I go off what you say most of the time because you are the expert when it comes to Star Wars. And I'm like, you
let
look, you probably 1,000,000,000% right, and I'm all wrong. You know what I'm saying?
well the actor who portrays him said at one of the most recent Star Wars celebrations, not Tokyo, it was the one before that. I believe it was in London. Um, Sometimes he is asked when we're getting all these new shows and we don't see the Emperor, he will be asked, what's like, are we going to see Palpatine? Is he going to appear? What's going on? He's like, oh, he's always busy about doing something. You never know when he will appear. I never forgot that comment. I'm like, oh, that means he could just pop up at any time. He could just
Yeah,
appear. And then
he
it
could.
was funny because in the Bad Batch, I think it was the last season of that show, Palpatine actually shows up in the show. I'm like, it's just getting worse. So
Well,
the
with
fact that
that
we
being
got
said,
this, the fact
with
that we
that,
got this, I'm wondering, oh, are we gonna get
I
him?
mean, you might get your wish. Like I said, we have 4 more episodes, right? So it's going to be a total of 10 episodes, correct?
Yeah, we're going all the way up to May the 4th. So
So
9?
we get 2 more episodes tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'm actually pulling it up. Yeah, 10 episodes. We have 10 episodes
Okay.
for season 1.
So we get 2 more episodes tomorrow, then 2 more episodes next week.
Yep, and then that's all she wrote for this season.
So
Oh,
that's 4 episodes to reveal whomever he was talking to. And I think if they revealed it in the next episode, I think that'd be too fast. I'm thinking they might wait until episode, 9 to reveal who
ah,
he was talking to.
it's hard to say because it's going to depend what happens in the story. I mean, because there have been shows and moments I've seen where, like with Bad Batch, I was under the impression, yeah, we're not going to see Palpatine. I don't think he's going to come, but then he came, and,
Right.
and you saw him, and it made sense why he appeared in that show. Just to sum up, so basically in the Bad Batch season 3, a lot of stuff is going on, a lot of moving pieces are happening, and the Empire is basically on the verge of being outed with all of these different programs that the
Mm-hmm.
Empire is conducting underhandedly. And usually when Palpatine appears the way he does in Bad Batch, that means everyone that he entrusted to keep things under wraps, he has to fix and cover for himself and initiate other plans he had as a backup that he's already 20 steps ahead again. Um, that's when like people are messing up because he comes in and basically just fixes everything in a matter of moments, and you're like, dag nab.
Mm-hmm.
And with some people that work for him, not long after that, they disappear
Mm-hmm.
or they're warned very severely and they continue on for a bit longer. So I have a feeling if my assumption is right, if this is Palpatine, we will most likely see him. It would be dope if it were for the series finale, depending how the rest of these events play out. But if he came a little sooner, again, depending on what happens, it's gonna be interesting in what in this part of the timeline, especially since we're in the very early, like the second year of the Empire. What draws him out this first time, for him um, to kind of fix things or get more involved in the situation. Because the other thing too with the emperor is he's trying not to be in the public eye so much either,
Mm-hmm.
because of his accident to a point and blaming the Jedi, because it's all part of the charade that he's doing. So he also becomes selective when he appears and when he doesn't.
But Jen, I got one more to throw at you though.
Okay.
What if it's neither one of those guys? And what if it's Darth Sidious, who he mentioned in the first episode, who betrayed him?
Well, Darth Sidious was Count Dooku. And technically, Dooku was already offed by Anakin.
But now,
Mm-hmm.
during this episode, during this time, because I don't know the times and stuff. I don't know the
Yeah,
timeline.
so remember, Count Dooku is taken out by Anakin in the beginning of the movie of Episode 3.
Okay,
And
so
when
it has to be
so
only those two choices. Is there anyone better in the universe right now who this guy right here would call Lord?
no.
Okay. Then
No.
then my theory, guys, my theory is trash. Because like I said, I am not the expert. I am here with the expert. So that was my only other. That was I'm just saying a big bad
with some of
to have a big bad on a show that's literally a villain. Because Maul is very much a villain. You have to have a really big bad. So I'm like, it's only so many big bads you can bring on to be to get that crowd response, like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, here's the thing, like within the Star Wars universe, especially with where we're at in the timeline, especially with this era of the timeline, the big bad is always the Emperor. It always is. But in some situations, you don't know when Vader will show up, which is also very, very bad.
Yeah, that's very bad.
The fact that Anakin has to stop what he's doing
to come and fix your problem. Yes.
Right, to come and fix your problem, because it's going to get back to the Emperor, and then the Emperor's going to get mad at him, and then he's going to get even more angry with all the other stuff he's angry about, especially with in the suit of the perpetual pain he's always in that the Emperor made for him. Like, if it doesn't matter, if Vader shows up, it's bad. If Palpatine makes an appearance, it's bad.
Really bad. It's really bad.
It's just bad. So no matter what, especially this era of the timeline, the big bad is Palpatine. It's just a matter of which one of his servants, more likely Vader in most cases, is gonna come. Because we still have the Inquisitor that has to be built up. So we don't even have the Grand Inquisitor yet that we see in Kenobi and other shows like Rebels. That guy is not even in play yet. So there's a lot of characters that we don't have not come into being yet, like in other areas of the timeline. So that's why I think the only other person he could really be talking to, if it's not Vader, it's Palpatine.
Okay.
There's nobody else unless they introduce a different character that from lore that I'm not thinking of, because it is known, like with all IPs, with Marvel, DC, Star Wars, they do cherry pick. So, and it's just a matter of how they canonize what they cherry pick within the cinematic universe.
Okay. Well, Jen, to wrap this up neatly and with a bow, what do you think about this entire series so far? I mean, I can guess what you think, but tell the people what you think.
I am loving this series. I am loving we are getting more Maul. And I said this amongst other friends in another group that I run for Star Wars when we were talking about the Andor show, how we wanted to see more of the Empire, how it reacts to things, especially when there are moments of resistance where they are basically being outed and how things just come out where they are losing footing. So I'm hoping we see how more of the Empire operates and how it continues to respond to things as they come up, whether if it's well executed, thought out type things, or situations where like, oh crap, we have to fix this. How do we fix this? And if some of those moments bring out a cloaked figure that's always in the dark corner with
Yeah,
with a mysterious laugh and glowing eyes.
yeah, yeah. Well,
um, but yeah. So what do you think? What are you thinking of this entire show? Where do you
look,
think it's going? Let me hear your thoughts. What you
so
got?
far, so far to me, this is one of the best animated shows I've seen so far this year.
Oh,
Okay,
so good.
so far this year, this one is at the top of my list. Um, and where I think it's going, and if they plan on having a second season, I don't think they're going to kill Maul off in this first season. But where I think
Oh
it's
no, they
going,
can't. They can't.
huh? Right. So where
They
I
can't.
think it's going, because I want to see more. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what I want to see, and then I'm gonna tell you where I think it's going.
Okay.
I want to see more of why Maul chose this planet, why the gangs, why he's killing all the gangs, and I want to know why they betrayed him and for what reason. What were they gaining from betraying Maul, if that makes sense? Did
Okay.
get that. I need that part of the story. Okay. And who is it that they were more afraid of than Maul, which led to them betraying him? If that makes sense.
It
That's the
does.
story. I want part of that story because right now it's just chaos. It's like he's going after all the gangs, and I'm like, why are we going after all the gangs?
Well, a part of the answer could be, from what I understand it, the big gang heads basically probably just came together and discussed getting rid of Maul because of how his actions previously were hurting their businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to remember, at the beginning of the episode, they had the gang heads basically had some type of respect between territories and boundaries, to where they came together and had meals and talked through things, and basically like having some type of agreements for each gang to operate where they wanted to operate and the types of business that they were doing with each other. So there was like mutual respect to a point. It's only when, like how Maul is playing chess, having this situation happen and then blaming it on one gang, and then the other gang retaliates thinking that, and then all of this chaos happens.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
Okay. Well, I would like to see that, but where I think is going, the final showdown would have to be between a one-on-one to the death between Merrick and Maul. That's where I think is leading up to. And then that's where either Vader is going to come in and be like, we got to put an end to this, or Palpatine is going to show up and like literally take over the whole planet like he always does whenever he goes somewhere.
That's very possible, because the next time we see Merrick is in the Ahsoka show, where we see that he was actually brought back to life by dark magic from Dathomir. So the question is with Merrick, because we only see him briefly in like I said, Tales of the Empire at the beginning of the Inquisitory as the first brother, with the stories in there, is, well, what happens to him that gets to that point, and how does he get found and resurrected? So that's a theory to, do we even see this early in the timeline,
Yeah.
or do we keep him for a while longer through the seasons? Because I think it would be really cool if, for however many season Maul is going to get, that we actually keep Merrick for a little while, especially for the inquisitory aspect. And the
Mm-hmm.
fact that we see him in Tales of the Empire in the beginning of the inquisitory. So with that part there, so we might have Merrick for a while because of
Okay.
that, because of what was already done before he gets offed and then resurrected by magic later.
Hey, that'd be cool with me because I think he's a cool character. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh
I
yeah,
said, who's walking around in full knight's regalia? You know what I'm saying?
that part.
I mean, he got to be hot. I'm just saying. I know we in space, but he got to be warm. I'm just saying. But
Hmm.
that brings our review of episodes 5 and 6 of Maul Shadow Lord to an end. Now playing on Disney Plus. It will be on tomorrow for new episodes. You can watch them all today. They're about 30 minutes per episode. You can binge
They're
them today
quick.
and and catch up and be ready for our next review, which will be next Sunday. It'll be Jen and myself once again. But
Back
before we
here.
leave, Jen, do you have something you want to tell the people?
I do have something I want to tell the people. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Ewoks, Wookiees, Porgs, Yoda species, and all others in between, we have two very special guests coming this Wednesday, 9:05, here on our channel at All-StarFandom Prime. Eric and Julia Leewald. They are the showrunner and writers of X-Men, Taz, and X-Men 97. We are so excited to have them on our channel. You don't want to miss it. So please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell so you are always primed. See what I did there? To not miss a single upload from us. It's going to be a great time. I don't know if they're going to stay with us for the entirety of our All-Star Fandom Prime show, but we got them for 30 minutes. So
we got them.
We got them. So make sure you come back and tune in for that this Wednesday at 9:05. It's going to be a great time. We're going to talk about X-Men. And we're going to also talk about how these two fine people are such pillars in the animation.
Yes.
So good.
Of our childhood, period.
Yes. Literally. Oh my gosh, what their hands have touched.
Yeah.
So good.
So with that being said, thank you for tuning in today. We thank you, each and every one of you, when you come in and hang out with us and kick it with us. Y'all drop some comments down below. Let us know what you think about Maul Shadow Lord. What's your favorite episode so far? What do you think is going to happen towards the end? We got 4 episodes left for a total of 10 episodes for Maul Shadow Lord Season 1. And until next Sunday, it's been myself, Doc, and that's Jen up top. And we out this thing. Peace.